ZICTA, Zambia's Information and Communications Technology Authority, and also a winner of the Chairman Award at this year's Zambia Trade Fair 2013. Well, we're right here at their stand, and as you can see, it's quite clear why they won. Hi Trisha, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you, Zambia?
I'm good, thank you. I'm sure you're very excited about your win.
Very, very excited. Of course, we didn't expect this because as at a few days before the fair started, our building was still not ready.
Wow.
And so getting this recognition from the chairman himself means a lot to the institution.
Fantastic, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Well, maybe you can also just tell your viewers a little bit more about what ZICTA is.
Okay, good. ZICTA is a regulatory body, and what we do is we regulate ICTs in the country as well as postal services. ICTs are your information and communication technologies, and then we also regulate postal services in Zambia. We established as an act of parliament. We come from as far back as 1994 under a different name until 2009 when we changed to ZICTA. And our sole responsibility is to regulate and to ensure that the rights and interests of consumers or users of these services are protected. In addition to that, we have also been given the mandate to ensure that the use of ICTs spreads across the country. You'll agree with me that technologies are just not a luxury. They're not for the rich or the elite or for the young or old. Technologies is what everybody else is doing now. And so our responsibility as the regulator is to ensure that everybody has access to these ICTs regardless of where they are. So that is ZICTA for you.
Well, thank you very much. But that's not just all. There is definitely more that the company does. Definitely. So stay tuned.
One of ZICTA's responsibilities is to protect the rights and interests of consumers. And right now, I'm going to hand you over to my colleague, Edgar Mlauzi, who's going to run you through on how ZICTA does that.
Now, ZICTA recently published the Consumer Protection Guidelines. What are these guidelines?
Yes, the Consumer Protection Guidelines are guidelines which seek to create processes and procedures for receipt and the resolution of complaints. And then the Code of Conduct for ICT licenses seeks to create a level playing field for all ICT service providers in Zambia.
What are the implications? What are some of the implications?
In terms of Section 79(1) of the ICT Act, anyone who contravenes these guidelines is liable upon conviction to pay a fine of 70,000 penalty units, and for each day of contravention, 40,000 penalty units, or to imprisonment of 6 months.
Now, what made ZICTA come up with these guidelines, and how can we access them?
Yes, the ZICTA is empowered under Section 68 and Section 69 of the ICT Act to develop consumer protection guidelines and the Code of Conduct. And then secondly, because ZICTA is there to protect the interests of consumers, so we have to listen to what the consumers are saying. So that's what prompted ZICTA to come up with these guidelines, so that we ensure that consumers, as well as service providers, are protected effectively. And where you can access them, we have posted them on our website, www.zicta.zm. Others who can reach us or visit us in Lusaka, we're at the former American Embassy, at the corner of United Nations Avenue and Independence Avenue. And then we also make arrangements to have these guidelines circulated in all post offices countrywide, because we've got collaboration with Zampost and through other government agencies.
Well, thank you very much for all that information.
Thank you.
Well, we've heard about consumer protection, and now I'm going to hand over to Davis, who's going to talk more about quality of service.
Well, in regards to quality of service monitoring, ZICTA is mandated to monitor the provision of quality of service that is provided by the mobile service providers. How do we do that? ZICTA has procured equipment which is able to monitor the quality of service as per set guidelines. These set guidelines have specific parameters, and these units have been fed with those parameters on how to monitor. Okay. The same units have been located in 6 different towns, and these are fixed units and they run 24/7. We also have 4 units which are mobile units which we use to monitor, or which we are using to monitor the quality of service in other parts of the country where we haven't yet installed fixed units. ZICTA, to enhance its monitoring, has also acquired, or is in the process of acquiring, 8 more mobile units, which are micro, and these will be installed in our vehicles, ZICTA vehicles, and they will be moving all over the country to capture the performance of these networks.
Now, Mr. Nyironga, I see you have mobile vans outside. What are those used for?
Actually, one major function of ZICTA is to monitor the usage of radio frequency spectrum. Radio frequency spectrum, in a layman's language, these are ranges of frequencies that are used for various ICT activities. Now, to see who is using this frequency, whether they have a license or not, those are the tools that we use actually to monitor the radio frequency spectrum. Some of the gadgets that we have here is a handheld equipment that we also use to localize the use of the same frequencies. This is just a directional antenna that we use actually to localize or get the direction from which the signals are coming from.